We're always hearing about AI writing our emails or, making those funny videos, but this deep dive is going somewhere a little more unsettling. Turns out terrorist groups are using AI, and it could totally change the game.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty alarming.
This news article we're looking at from October 3rd, 2024, The Dark Side of AI, How Terrorists Are Leveraging Technology by Jimmy Bearden, lays it all out there.
Definitely an important read. It really highlights how these organizations are using this technology.
Yeah, it's not just about, improving their old tactics. It's about using AI to exploit the information systems we rely on every day.
Exactly.
So the article talks about how terrorist groups, especially ISIS, are becoming these propaganda powerhouses and not those shaky, night vision messages anymore.
Yeah.
This is next level stuff. They're creating these incredibly realistic AI avatars.
Yeah, and they're so lifelike they could actually be news anchors.
Imagine turning on the news and seeing a familiar face reporting a terrorist attack.
Right.
But it's not a real person. It's an AI avatar made to look and sound exactly like a real news anchor.
That's what makes it so effective and so dangerous. It preys on our natural tendency to trust what we see.
Yeah, especially from familiar sources.
Especially if it's someone we see every day on TV. Seeing is believing, right?
Right.
So when an AI anchor reports an attack, even if it's totally made up, it has this weight of credibility that's hard to shake.
It's like our brains are wired to be tricked by this stuff. We automatically trust a friendly face or a familiar news program.
Exactly. It plays on those deep-seated cognitive biases we all have, like the halo effect. We transfer positive feelings about, say, a news anchor we like to the information they're presenting, even if it's totally made up.
So it's not just about making the message look good.
Right.
It's about hijacking our trust in the messenger.
Exactly.
That's really insidious.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, how do we even begin to navigate a world where we can't even trust our own eyes and ears?
Yeah. Good thing I'm skeptical by nature, but this is honestly kind of terrifying.
It is definitely something to be concerned about.
And this whole manipulative potential, it goes way beyond just fake news, right? The article talks about AI-powered chatbots being used for recruitment.
And that takes us into a whole other area, online radicalization. We've seen how effective online platforms can be for spreading extremist ideology. But the chatbot adds a whole new level of danger.
Yeah, how so? I mean, we all interact with chatbots now for customer service and things.
Right, but imagine you're having what you think is a personalized conversation with a chatbot, but it's actually designed to feed you information that's tailored to your vulnerabilities.
So instead of just scrolling through propaganda.
Right, you're engaging in a two-way dialogue with it.
Wow.
It becomes a very persuasive, very insidious form of recruitment.
So the chatbot learns what your buttons are and what arguments will actually hook you.
Exactly. These AI chatbots use natural language processing to understand your responses, adapt their messaging, and then exploit your individual weaknesses in real time.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. And by interesting, I mean terrifying. Think about those algorithms social media companies use to target us with ads. Could something similar be used to draw people towards extremist content?
That's exactly the concern. These are very sophisticated algorithms that can analyze tons of data to create incredibly detailed profiles of individuals. And in the wrong hands, that information can be weaponized for recruitment and radicalization.
And it gets even scarier. It's almost like we're living in one of those sci-fi movies, where the enemy is invisible, it's adapting and learning faster than we can keep up.
That's the challenge with AI, especially with the groups that are willing to use it, in harmful ways. The technology is constantly evolving.
So it's not just about taking down a website or arresting some leader anymore.
Right.
It's we're trying to stop a hydra.
Right.
Cut off one head and two more grow back.
That's a great analogy. It really highlights the need for a new kind of counterterrorism strategy, one that focuses on understanding and combating the specific ways that AI is being used.
So what can we actually do? The article mentioned using AI to fight AI.
Exactly. It's not as simple as just fighting fire with fire, though. We need to be developing our own sophisticated algorithms that can detect AI-generated content, track these groups' online activity, and ideally anticipate their next move.
So it's like a digital detective squad.
Yes.
That can find those fake videos and chatbot recruiters.
Precisely. We need to be able to identify deepfakes, understand how these algorithms are being trained, and even develop counter-messaging that can disrupt the radicalization process.
And the article also mentioned that terrorist groups are using AI for more than just propaganda and recruitment.
That's right.
They're using it for cyber attacks and even to control drones.
Exactly. And this is where things get really scary. Imagine like a swarm of AI-controlled drones programmed with facial recognition software,
Okay, that's a little too Black Mirror for me.
and they're carrying out targeted attacks.
Okay, yeah, that's some next-level dystopian stuff right there.
It sounds like science fiction,
Yeah.
but it's becoming a reality, and we need to be prepared to deal with it.
So it's not just about fighting misinformation online anymore.
Yeah.
It's about protecting infrastructure
Yeah,
and anticipating attacks.
exactly. And this is where the article really stresses the need for international cooperation. This isn't a battle any one country can fight on its own.
Because these groups, they're not limited by borders anymore. AI gives them global reach.
Exactly. We need to be sharing intelligence, coordinating strategies, and working together to develop ethical and effective countermeasures. Because the alternative is, well, it's unthinkable.
You know, it's one thing to read about this stuff in an article, but it's different when you really think about it.
It is a lot to process. But, you know what they say? Knowledge is power. The more informed we are, the better we'll be at navigating this new landscape. And, hopefully, shaping a future where AI is used for good, not for harm.
I don't know about you, but when I really let all this sink in, it's kind of overwhelming.
It's a lot, for sure.
This isn't like some sci-fi movie. This is like right now, this is the world we're living in.
It is. But we're not powerless here. AI has challenges, yeah, but it also gives us opportunities.
Okay, like what? We've been talking about some pretty dark stuff. What kind of opportunities can we find in all of this?
Well, think about it. When we understand how terrorist groups are using AI, it helps us build those countermeasures. We can, like, create early warning systems that flag potential threats, train law enforcement to recognize and fight AI propaganda, maybe even use AI to predict and disrupt their activities before they happen.
So are we talking about fighting fire with fire?
In a way, yeah.
All right.
But it's more than just copying their tactics. We have to use this technology strategically, ethically, and with a real understanding of what could happen if we don't.
So we need to do more than build a better algorithm. We have to use it responsibly.
Now you're getting it. And that's where it gets really interesting. It makes us think about who we are, what we stand for. Do we want AI to control us, manipulate us? Or do we use it to build a safer world, one that's more informed, more just?
Tough questions. I know which one I'd choose, the safe, informed world. What about you?
Me too. And that's the thing to remember here. AI is a tool. Just like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's up to us, all of us, to figure out how we want to use this power. And that starts with conversations like this, shining a light on the issues, asking the hard questions, talking to each other, really talking. That's how we start to create a future where AI is a force for good.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive for today. We've gone over the issue, looked at what could happen, and hopefully given everyone listening a lot to think about.
Absolutely. This isn't the end of the conversation, though. It's just the beginning. The real work happens when we take what we've learned and use it. We need to make informed choices, think critically, and demand better from our leaders and ourselves.
You heard it here, folks. Keep asking those questions, keep digging deeper, and stay informed.
And stay engaged. The future is in our hands.